Following protests in our city against the Turkey offensive in Syria, we speak to a Salford resident concerned about his family in Kurdistan.
We shall act now because tomorrow will be too late.
There's new hope for a jewel in Salford's crown as Buell Mansion supporters campaign for its reopening.
And our sports editor Conor Cockcroft is at the Peninsula Stadium to tell us more about the alleged incident that took place during a match at Northampton at the weekend. Hello and welcome to Salford Now. I'm Michael Adams.
And I'm Madison Radford.
First today, Hashim Abadi, brother of the Manchester Arena bomber, has pleaded not guilty to 22 counts of murder after being questioned about his involvement with the attack.
Our correspondent Joe Wommack joins us now from Media City Newsroom. Joe, what more can you tell us?
Thanks, Michael. Now, this new development is just adding to the pain felt by the families of the victims. Now, at a time when they were expecting closure, Hashim Abadi has pleaded not guilty at the Old Bailey in London today. Now, it took over 6 minutes to read out the 24-count indictment in the hearing. 22 of those counts are murder charges for the victims of the bombing. Now, it's important to remember that Hashim Abadi was brought back from Libya. He was extradited back to the UK after being arrested by Libyan forces to face these charges in July earlier this year.
OK, so what does this mean going forward then, Joe?
What this means is that because he hasn't pleaded guilty, the case will now go to a trial, which is expected to last up to 8 weeks. This is going to drag on even more so for the families, the victims of the families, who are hoping for at least a small amount of closure over 2 years since the attack. Now, Mr. Justice Baker, who is presiding over the case, has pushed the start of the trial back to early 2020, even though it was scheduled to start on the 1st of November this year.
Thanks, Joe. Now, the Kurdish community in Manchester have been protesting against the Turkey offensive in Syria. Paydar Ahmed, who moved to Salford 7 years ago, has expressed his concerns for his family left in Kurdistan. Carrie Morris has more.
The voices of hundreds of Kurdish supporters echoed through the city of Manchester. This demonstration came as a result of Turkey's military assault against Kurdish-held parts of Syria. Turkish-backed Syrian forces advanced into the northeast of Syria in an attempt to create a so-called safe zone cleared of Kurdish fighters, who they perceive to be terrorists. This action, however, has been widely condemned as it has left at least 30 civilians dead, many more injured, and displaced thousands of people from their homes. One man who voiced his concerns about the conflict is Paydar, who left his home in Syria and moved to Salford 7 years ago.
So my entire family is still back there. My brother he's a fighter with YPG, so I didn't go to work for like a week now because I can't work and watch news at the same time, and you know, keep talking to my family. Before you came here as well, I was talking to my family as well. Yeah, they are okay, but after this problem, no, I don't think they will be okay anymore.
While the Kurds wave their flags of freedom, the Turkish are trumpeting the security of their state. Mete Kalyancu, who lives in Istanbul, has explained. It is not a war. Turkey wants to establish a safety zone on the Syrian border because terror groups want to occupy the border areas. Kurds are not all terrorists. The terrorists are terrorists. Turkish President Erdogan sent a warning to anyone planning to interfere with his military action.
Hey, European Union, pull yourself together. I say it again. If you try to label this operation an invasion, it's very simple. We will open the gates and send 3.6 million refugees your way.
Acts of anger towards Turkish President.
Sorry about the issues there. Now, there's hope for a 200-year-old mansion that lies derelict in one of Salford's most popular parks. The Buell mansion is Grade 2 listed, and it's hoped that a new residents association can breathe a new lease of life into the building and its grounds. James Holt has more.
A trip down memory lane. That's what Marie sings about in her song When I Was Young, filmed in Salford's Buell Hill Park, where Marie spent most of her childhood. Buell Hill Mansion sits in the centre of the grounds and used to be a busy museum and cafe, but now sits lifeless among graffiti and litter. I'm here at Buell Hill Mansion, a Grade 2 listed building which is nearing its 200th year anniversary. I spoke to Marie, who has fond memories of playing here as a young child.
I have strong feelings about the park. I've been coming here since I was 4 years old with my late father. I used to...
Sorry about that. The Salford Unemployed and Community Resource Centre in Eccles runs a breakfast club every morning for the homeless, unemployed and former offenders.
The centre aims to offer a free breakfast to anyone who needs it, with an aim to tackle poverty in the community. Our reporter Meg Dooley went down to Eccles to find out more.
It's breakfast time at the Salford Unemployed and Community Resource Centre, where homeless people come along to enjoy a cooked morning meal. The centre doesn't only offer breakfast, it also offers a vital lifeline. It was initially set up to help ex-offenders, but it now fulfills bigger needs for the wider community in Salford.
We noticed that the breakfast club that we run 5 days a week, which has been in operation now 3 to 4 years, was attracting people who weren't ex-offenders. They were homeless people. And they didn't come to socialise or to find things out. They came to stay alive because they needed to eat.
Last year, across the UK, 726 homeless people died. 1 in 7 was from the northwest. Last year, new statistics estimated that the number of rough sleepers in Salford had risen by 600%, according to the local council.
In the last period, me and the staff have been to 7 funerals in Eccles. I mean, shocking. And not one of those men, each one's been a man, not one of them has been over 45. One was 40, that was the last one, but the average age is 43. And they die because of their living.
The centre aims to continue its work in keeping the homeless people of Salford alive. Megan Dooley, Salford Now.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Sam Morris, a Salford woman battling breast cancer, wants to help raise awareness on the disease. Ben Stacey has more.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In England, every year around 46,000 people are diagnosed with breast cancer. 8 out of 10 cases of breast cancer are diagnosed in women aged 50 and over. And almost 9 in 10 women survive breast cancer for 5 years or more. Sam Morris is a breast cancer survivor and advocate currently battling her second diagnosis and wants to help raise awareness through her story.
Diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007. At the time I had two small young girls, aged 6 and almost 4. Diagnosis came as a massive shock. I even had to persuade the GP to send me for a referral because she just felt that there was nothing there. And I found a different confidence because I was 40 at the time, and all of a sudden it was like a 40-year-old with breast cancer. Wow, that doesn't happen. But unfortunately, yes, it does.
After talking in depth while having a brew, Sam explained how easy it is to overlook simple things and had some advice for anyone who may be dealing with breast cancer.
Remember, it's doable. It is treatable. If you're not sure, ask. I think that is the main thing. Ask. Ask questions. Seek advice. Don't do Dr. Google. Get something from the experts.
This October, cop a feel and get checked. Benjamin Stacey, Salford Now.
Salford City fans have been accused of racist chanting during their match at Northampton Town on Saturday. Our sports editor, Connor Cockcroft, is outside of the Peninsula Stadium for us now. Connor, what more can you tell us about this?
This is quite an important topic given some of the current racism stories, particularly the likes of Yeovil Town in their FA Cup tie, as well as the England-Bulgaria game. This comes on the back of Salford's game away to Northampton on Saturday, The Hammers suffered a 2-0 defeat away to the Cobblers. Northampton said they had been made aware of allegations of racist chanting from the away end after Saturday's game. In a statement, the club said that the allegations centre around the chanting of words that are offensive and discriminatory towards the traveller community. The club also said it had a proud record of diversity and inclusion and will not accept any discriminatory comments or behaviour at the matches in any form. Both clubs are working with authorities to try and find out those involved.
Thanks, Connor. Right, for most, the half-term holiday means it's time to relax and forget about schoolwork. But for low-income families, it can be a struggle just to make ends meet. A community centre in Langworthy is helping out by offering free meals during the school holidays. Ellie Kent reports.
This may look and sound like a school canteen, but it's actually a community centre, offering free meals for children during the holidays. This single dad brought his children over the summer and has come back for October half-term.
The children get a day out, they get a free meal, and they enjoy it. So you couldn't ask for anything else better. It's just a lot easier bringing them out because it saves me cooking through the day. When they come out, you eat more, you see everyone else participating with it.
We've been doing it in a quiet way for well over a year. The cafe uses fair share food largely, which would otherwise, there's nothing wrong with it, it's fantastic food, it would otherwise go to waste. So it's better that somebody eats it rather than it goes in a skip. Staff are employed anyway during the holidays, so we figured that it wouldn't really cost us anything more to do it. And we were aware that there were issues around youngsters who were on free school meals and whose parents, weren't doing well financially and feeding the kids over holiday breaks.
Recent statistics show that Salford has a 39.5% child poverty rate, with the highest area being Ordsall at 59% and the lowest being Worsley with 13%. Having been awarded a grant by Salford Community and Voluntary Services, the scheme is set to continue to help families, and not only does it help by providing food, but it has a social aspect to it as well.
I've only really come since last Easter. That's the first time I knew about it properly.
Yeah. And do you think that it's a helpful service?
It has been for me. Somebody who suffers with social anxiety, it's helped me get into the community. And even the first couple of times when I didn't speak to anybody, it's helped me say hello to the regulars, if you like.
The cafe will be open for the rest of the week and for many holidays to come.
Community groups are banding together to save one of the few green spaces in Blackfriars in an attempt to stop the potential development of another high-rise apartment building. The plot of land on East Phillips Street was sold without consultation in March. The active response from the community, the council have agreed to reconsider the future of the site. Thomas Bowen has more.
Abandoned, overgrown and neglected, the half-acre plot of land in Greengate has been regenerated several times over the past decade. However, since the Biosphere project went bust in 2015, the plot of land has since been deserted. We went down to the plot in question and were surprised to see local community members clearing out the site ahead of the final hearing with Salford City Mayor Paul Dennett on the 28th of October. Students from Worsley College chose the Greengate site as their regeneration project as part of their work towards the Prince's Trust.
Sort of cleaning up the whole garden so it looks presentable and nice, so that when other people come along, they see it, be like, oh, well, we can now go there and there's a nice place we can go. Because I've heard that people are putting up buildings and the government are trying to buy it because it's messy and they don't think anyone wants to use it. So we need to show people that this is for them, not for the government.
The land is now over 50% cleared. However, the lack of funding is slowing down the efforts of the community and the need for extra support is vital.
We've had lots of meetings where people have said, well, the council haven't got any more money to spend on it and, you'd have to get on and do most of the work yourself. And we've just said, yeah, we'll do that. Let us prove that. And I think that is the proposal that's being put to the mayor, which is that we get a period of time to show what we can actually do with it. Personally, I think just what we've done over the summer shows what we can do with it.
Richard Critchley told Salford Now the population around Greengate and Blackfriars is growing rapidly, so it's now more important than ever that we protect and enhance what few green spaces there are.
Well, that's all from us. Goodbye.
Goodbye.